Good morning. It is August 18th. We're coming at you late with some August 14th updates. It is summer. I have been busy doing fun things. If you're from Pennsylvania, shout out. I just got back from the deep, deep mountains of camping in different creeks in Pennsylvania, swimming with otters, catching crayfish, doing all sorts of fun things. That being said, you are not here about camping, you are here about Black Desert, and we have some updates to go over. We have a Global Labs update, and then I will be posting a video for the NAEU live update. And then I decided we're going to do some other content videos because you guys like those, and so today's going to be a lot of uploads. Let's dive right into the Global Labs patch notes from August 14th. Once again, excuse the tardiness. So this is going to be the roadmap for Edania. The road to Edania, a world where chaos, order, good and evil coexist, has finally opened. In this Edania, we have prepared each leader at the center of the main story, their stories, their various battles, hunting, life content, and new equipment based on their experience so far. We have prepared you to feel the charm of the new Black Desert once again. Especially this time, there will be an Edana Throne journey where you can write history yourself. The owner of the 5 thrones can be a responsible ruler or a leader. However, this road is not open to anyone. You must overcome the challenge of the leader of each throne, so please be prepared. As always, the world of the Black Desert is only where your story is added. We hope that you will become a ray of light in Edania and restore order, and we look forward to the new history that you will write. Side note, being the ray of lights in a game, not always fun. And recently, many of you have been discussing hunting ground profits, or PVE sites, and the price of cronstones since the launch of Edania. In conclusion, there are no cronstone price adjustments this time. No more, now more people can enjoy Edania. I think it's time to put the so-called ladder. In the reorganization of the combat system, the reorganization of the grind spots, and the flow leading to Edania, we'll focus on accessibility and pleasure for the time being. Of course, there is room for adjustment and the future is needed, but not now. When that time comes, I will take you back. Finally, we will prepare not only for this first update for Edania, but also for the second update scheduled for September 10th. I hope you have a great adventure. So, the main client. Talk to your Black Spirit. You can start the main commission of Edania, and then it goes through the quest. You have to be 60th level, the Gladius champion, which means you have to finish Ataraxia. And let's see, Black Spirit, Edania, end of the waiting order. Order for request for a NymphaMare. If you hold the title of Gladius champion after completing the request for Ataraxian in the family, you could start the main commission immediately. Uh, Take advantage of the tab function at the bottom right corner of the screen during the request process. The story goes on with sound without keyboard operation. Okay, so they hired some voice actors. Edania Adventure Journal. An adventure journal with stories from the outside has been added. The new adventure journal consists of 7 stories. In the middle of the process, you can choose a story you want. If you choose a story that you want to tell in your adventure journal, you'll be directed to the beginning. For a natural story development, if you are working on one request, you will not be able to select another until you have completed it. So, at the time of completing the story of Harkingen Temple and Aterian, you could choose one of 3 commissions to order and proceed. However, on August 20th, only the story is updated. The stories of Tenebrum, Zephyros, and Edania will be updated on Wednesday, September 10th. The Adventure Journal bookshelf will be integrated into the Adventure Journal that has been added this time. So we have 4 stories: the Harkingen Temple, the Aterion, the Orbita, and the NymphaMare. So the area where the adventurer has not been updated will be added to the regular inspection on Thursday, August 21st. Please note that after the update of the Edania region, which requires high attack and defense, an adventure journal will be added to an area that has not yet reached its 10th anniversary in order to provide the same play experience by region. Edania's heritage you will discover as you explore the outside. If you discover the heritage of Edania, you can earn special rewards. If you pass a test to get some Edania's legacy, you can earn the original shards and gold bars. Edania in the well, a well of the abyss appeared in Edania through the blood vessels in the abyss of Magnus. It can travel from the other estates to Edania. If you meet the following condition, you could use the well in the abyss and acquire the knowledge of it. So, conditions of the use of well. So you need to have the knowledge of the Harkijid Temple. It can be obtained when knowledge of the terrain of the Harkijid Temple is acquired, and you can gain by dialogue in the Magnus. So Edania, Chief Torch. Through the head of Edania, you will face the legendary beings who have only been told in the story. You're greeted by a grand, overwhelming castle and a leader who protects it, and you're on your way to the end of your long journey. In this update, Jordaine, Rusalka, and Ensla will be the guardians of their respective castles. When completed, the leader of Edania will be granted the right to apply for a certificate of the Edania Challenge to the VIP content to the top level adventurers. However, please note that the head of the Tobe is set to be a challenge only for one leader every week after the weekly request order, so that the head of the castle can be too much for the adventurers. Okay, so this is where it's the PvP fight, right? Edania Boss Subjugation. Through the Edania Boss Subjugation, you will finally come face to face with the legendary foes you've only heard about in tales. So, yeah, this is a PvP arena for elite adventurers. However, to ensure that the boss subjugation does not feel like an excessive chore, we made it so that after accepting the weekly, you can only challenge one castle boss per week. So step through the doors, take down the demon lords, and help defend the world of Black Desert once more. How to enter the Edania Chief battle. Entry is possible through each Edania Castle Chairman NPC. The head of the Edanian Castle must meet all of the following. Ordered a weekly order for the head of each Edania Castle and the Edana of each difficulty level. The leader must meet the following stat requirements to be able to proceed with the challenge. So Jordaine, you need to have AP of 350 and armor of 427. Rusalka is 375, 440, and Ensla is 385, 445. You can enter when you are wearing red or higher than the item level of equipment. So, Black Star everything, weapons, armors, and accessories, or higher. The combat stats for items occupying the Pearl costume slot do not apply to all content in the Edania region. So, the Edania Chief Torval Weekly Commission, we've added weekly requests to kill the head of each castle and get a token of the challenge that can be challenged by Edania. It is only possible to challenge one castle each week, and only one of the weekly requests can be ordered and completed by one of the following. After winning the weekly request, you can enter through a dedicated UI as your own challenging space that will not be disturbed by other venturers. And after the August 20th update, the weekly request for the head of the top floor will be available from 0 midnight on August 21st. The token of each Edania challenge obtained as a weekly request completion reward can only be used during the application period for the Eden or challenge at the time of acquisition, and there's a validity period of immediately after the acquisition. So, all of the items below are released for qualifications of the throne. It is possible to obtain it with a low probability, which is the Jewel of the Primates. And then if you take out NymphaMare, you can get these items. And then if you take out Orbita, you can get these items. A lot of this stuff is going to make a lot more sense once I get up there or once more information gets disseminated. The shards of the Primordial, the main loot of Changqian's Hang, can be sold for 30 million silver coins through the NPC stores. Okay, so the shards of the Primordial. The Throne of Edanias. On the way to the throne, only one adventurer can have the name of Edania. So the new PvP content, Edania's Throne, has begun. The Throne of Edanias is a free-for-all duel within each of the main areas of the province. Through this, the selected Edania has great power in his or her own territory. Each of the castles allows the right to power only to those who have the best of their kind. Once a week, in order to keep the place, Edania must overcome the challenges of other challengers. If you can't stop the challengers from attacking, you're going to give a new Edania a place. In order to gain honor, power, and glory, you will fight a fierce battle in the throne of Edania and enjoy the thrill of victory. The head of the region of Edania is entitled to become an Edana who manages each region. Every Sunday, Edomna is challenged by other adventurers, and a new Eden is decided by a challenged adventurer. The finalists and ascended to the throne of Edania will receive privileges and rewards. So it goes from Thursday to Sunday. The deadline is Sunday at 1900. So you use the Edana challenge item obtained when the weekly request of the head of the region was commissioned. You will participate in the showdown as a character who uses this token item. The head of the toppled weekly request is reset every Thursday, and only one weekly request can be completed. In addition, if you have applied for this challenge of one of the provinces every week, you will not be able to apply for another castle. The item of the Edona challenge is attributed to the family when obtained, and this item will be consumed when used. In addition, there is an effective 3-hour validity time, and items cannot be used when the expiration date expires. After applying using the signed item of the Edana challenge, you can update the notation damage and defense figures in the ability to participate in the throne participation UI as a character will apply before the selection of 10 challengers. Example, if your AP's 355 and your DP's 430, you can update it to 360, 435, and the Edana cannot apply as a challenger to other local castles. How to select after application. Adventurers who have used signs of the Edana challenge in each region, the maximum number of adventurers with the highest sum of damage and defense is 7. So I guess the most you're going to have to defend against is 7. Up to 3 random adventurers using signs of the Edana challenge in each region. So it could be up to 10. Sunday at 9, if selected, the UI below will be displayed on the left side of the minimap. You can get directions through the UI. And then Sunday at 2000, you can enter 5 minutes before the start of the showdown. 5 minutes before the start, you can enter the Envoy's Castle's Chairs NPC in Edania via the conversation. And you can only enter the mark of the Edana challenge with a character using the item. You must meet the minimum damage and defense conditions of each castle. A free-for-all single-player showdown of 10 challengers will take place for up to 10 minutes before the last challenger is born. If 2 or more challengers remain at the end of the showdown, one last challenger will be selected with a percentage of the remaining health. During the confrontation, a black veil that gradually reduces the area is activated, dealing damage to adventurers outside the veil. So the final challenger is Sunday at 2030. And then enter through the UI. And then the last challenger. You can only enter with characters who use the mark item. You must meet the minimum damage and defense. The final challenger and the Edana showdown will be played in the 3rd edition. The one final challenge, the Edana face-off in the designated location. If you do not win at the end of the showdown, the remaining percentage of health will determine whether you will win or lose. So if there's a draw, whoever's got the most health. There is a no last-minute challenger. Edana will be automatically appointed. If there is no existing Edana, the final challenger, the adventurer will be chosen as Edana. So, notice of the progress of the Edana's throne. During the confrontation, the adventurer will proceed to the equipment that is currently being worn. The showdown time is fixed by the daytime, same as Guild League. There is no penalty for death. In the event of confrontation, all other participants' notation will be changed to challenge, and it is not possible to chat. The character skill cooldown is reset when entering the showdown venue, and the Black Spirit Wrath and Emergency Evasion cooldowns are reset. After entering the venue, you cannot leave the designated position until the start of the showdown, and you cannot change the designated position. High purity Blackstone items cannot be used at the venue, and high purity Blackstone buffs are removed. During the showdown, it is not possible to replace equipment and replace the modified presets, and you are not allowed to board the black hole in the embargo class. We're going to say emergency escape. It'll be automatically defeated when the connection ends during the showdown. If you are reconnected before the start of the round, you can proceed to the selection showdown. However, if the match round starts and you haven't come in, you will automatically be defeated. If the remaining personnel die at the same time during the showdown, the challenger with highest attack and defense in the highest level and the most experience will be determined the winner. Mode of authority in Edania. The 10 finalists wait until, okay. Check the class, yep. Information that can be checked through the UI. In the dual selection of the final cabinets, the name of the participant's family cannot be confirmed and all of them are marked as challenged. At 2010, the final 1-minute candidate selection begins with the countdown. Free for all for up to 10 minutes until the final one candidate is selected. If you die in battle, you will be eliminated. In the event of death, you could choose view mode or exit. When you choose to leave, you will be taken to the place where you entered. If you manage all the participants, you will be qualified as a final challenger. If you win or lose, we'll guide you through the UI. So here's the privileges. So after enabling a forced attack within its territory, Edana does not reduce its propensity to force. Okay, so you don't get bad karma. However, the opponent adventurer who has been attacked by Edana can fight back. In the case of Edana, guild unit party members are not allowed to attack. So increases the chance of drops. You can cast up to 10 times a week a blessings buff, which gives you 100% item drop rate for 1 hour. The blessed buff UI of Edana is displayed at the top of the screen. Applies to all servers, belongs to the Arsha server and the preoccupied Lord buff group, and can reach a maximum gain of plus 500% of item drops. Let's see. Instantly revived without death penalty. In the event of death within Edana's territory, there is no death penalty, and you could be revived immediately inside the territory. There is no death penalty under any circumstance. Even if Edana's health is less than 0, or karma is less than 0, there's no penalty in Edana's territory. So taxes. If you use the PVE area in the Edana area of your throne, you will need a check-in ticket, and you will need to purchase a ticket, and you will need to pay for the entrance ticket. A portion of the amount of each ticket is taxed, and the amount of tax accumulated can only be checked by the Edana. When the Edana is replaced, the tax that has been accumulated will be automatically paid by the gift box of the previous Edana Adventurer's Black Spirit, and the amount obtained will be directed to the mailbox. Even if the Edana keeps the throne and succeeds in their tenure, the tax amount of the week will be paid. The tax is based on the basic amount and the percentage of the amount per ticket, and the amount of tax may vary from each province. The taxes in the areas without Edana do not accumulate. Taxes will not be collected if the Edana in your area has entered a locked room. And the crown of Edana is the crown that corresponds to the occupied castle. It's a period-based 7th item and can be worn in the helmet area of the pro costume. When equipped, the server chat will not be consumed, and the world chat is possible without the need of a megaphone. When chatting in the world server regular chat, you will be exposed with a special emoji and that will be displayed different in a special color. Remote server movement timeout time and instant move. There is no server movement timeout when moving the server of Edana area, and the server can be moved freely. Edana can be moved to your castle immediately, and however this function cannot be used during the possession of trade goods. And in the world map, you can see the family name of the Edana who occupied each Edana castle. So for PvE spots, the land of Jordaine, which is Blue Eve, it's a dossier of dark-colored root spirits. When you hit a rooted spirit object placed through the hunting ground, dark-skinned root spirits appear. They're level 65. You need 350 or a total attack ability of 1565 and a 427 DP. Main loot is Debaracas of all kinds, and then shards and corrections. And then item name, you get the trash loot of Sheeran Soul Sculptures, which are worth 105,000 silver. If you kill a monster on the verge of blue, you win the following titles. So you got to kill up to 30,000 of them. And then Rusalkas, oh, those are pretty cool. Turtles and little lizard dudes. They kind of look like Warhammer minis, don't they? Added the NymphaMare Castle, which is guarded by the minions of Rusalka and the Coral Nagas. When you kill the Coral Nagas, the snow of Rusalka appears to guard the adventurer and increase the pollution around you. So you need a 370, 440 for this area. Once again, Debos of all kind, as well as these crystals. And the contaminated coral fragments are worth 116,000 apiece. And once again, 30,000 kills gets you all 4 titles. And then Ensla, those are beefy boys. Added Orbita Castle. When you strike the Tomb of the Orbita Light, you will see the Tombs of the Day, and you must use the Tombs of Faith placed around you to fight. This is a 380-450 zone. And same thing, bunch of crystals, bunch of Debarakas, and 140,000 silver trash loot, the nuke that lost its light. And once again, 30,000 kills for all the titles. And then added the new armor level, Edana's Armor. This is where you have to get yours to either Tet or Pen, your fallen god. Good luck with that. I know some people in my guild have already, and it makes me disgusted. Looks very cool. Looks like almost like lava smokiness. And right here you could talk to the Black Spirit with the Hidden Secret, and you need level 60, and you need to, let's see, Aetherion request for return completed. The production of each part of the Edania armor requires the following materials. Either a piece of Edania is required for all 4 levels, so you can get Howling, which is a pen, or Armor of the Crying Dead God, which I believe that's Tet, and then, or you can get 1 glove of Howling, so, let's check, let's make sure we have the right, let's see, go to Armor, let's go to Gloves, we're looking at them, and Howling, Desperate, Distorted, that might be the Wailing, so that might be 2 Tets plus 1 piece to get the hands, and the feet are 2 Tets plus 1 piece of Edania. So this is what it looks like when it's completely equipped. And exchanges through, okay, if the Edania update is applied, those who have the exquisite primordial armor can be exchanged for the Edania armor in the same area. So if you have, I believe, a pen. Originally, the exchange stage I talked about at the Hideout Conference was the Wind, but after reviewing it again through the development process, we decided it was better to exchange it for the Nav, or 9, which is just below the highest stage. Considering the difficulty and symbolism of the exquisite stage, we've adjusted it to a unit of 9 that is closest to the highest level rather than the 8. Along with this, I also touched on the difficulty of strengthening the Edana's armor. It is not to increase or decrease the difficulty level, but to adjust the gap between those who create and reinforce it from the beginning and those who receive it as an exchange. As intended, as a result, we would like to ask you for your support to be designed to be a more balanced structure. So when you use the ever-increasing armor to build Edana's armor, you can earn the 9 Edana armor. So if you have Pen Fallen God, instantly goes to Nav Edania armor. So cool. 8 DP for those of you who have gotten it. So this is where the stats are. Some of you are going to be overachievers and jump right into a full set. Others, like me, this is going to be a slow grind. Also, they talked about at Hideout Ball where it's not just going to be where you sit here and click, 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 click. It's going to be gated by a weekly quest where you can only get so much of the pieces of Edania. Reinforcement of the Edania's armor requires, so to enhance it, you need a piece of Edania, 3 pieces or 3 sharps, and 20 Caphras, and you heat those together to get an Edania's Blackstone. The probability is, to get to Pen, is 1%. So I'm going to guess most people are going to stick around Dong or Luck, or, Pen or Sept, we're going to say. But we'll see. Edania's armor has a dark and intense atmosphere and an ancient atmosphere with a dedicated effect at the Pen and Oct stages. You can make all 4 of Edania's armor. You can make a request to earn a set of costumes with the same appearance. The request can be carried out and completed once per family. So you can get just a costume that looks like that on an alt. And preventing the downturn of the Edana Armor. So new armor added through Edania. Edana's armor is used as a material for the ancient armor in the Howling phase. This also means that adventurers must first have a Howling out tactic class armor in order to enjoy Edania. Having these prerequisites alone requires no time and effort. For those of us who haven't yet achieved the conditions, we've been wondering if the new region Edania is too far away. Based on this Edania, we will add enhanced anti-drop items to reduce some of the burden and difficulty of strengthening the Fallen God armor. The lowest level anti-drop items are designed to be obtained through existing contents and used as a springboard for growth. The top level items can be obtained from the Edania hunting ground and traded through an integrated exchange. The price traded is set not to be too low, taking into account the value of existing Fallen God armor and the price of the Cronstones. For adventurers who have already reached Edania, we hope that it will be a hunting profit, and for other adventurers, it will be a little easier for you to prepare for Edania. So, Edania's defense gear, newly introduced into Edania, requires Tet Fallen God defense gear as a crafting material. So, to set foot in Edania, you'll need to have Wailing, Slumbering, or Origin gear first. We know that just reaching this point takes a lot of time and effort, and we worried that it might feel a little too gated. To help this, we added new enhancement protection items to make Fallen God armor gear a bit easier. You can get basic items from existing content. Let's see. An item that prevents the downgrading from, or the, Fallen God level from falling when the reinforcement level fails to strengthen the armor of the primordial grade has been added, the Ancient Decision. Deform silent ancient crystals, silent primordial sculptural items that can be traded through a unified exchange. The long-awaited decision cannot be traded on the marketplace and can be sold to NPC stores. If you fail after advanced reinforcements through the crystal of the primordial, you will earn an ancient anvil figure. So, these are the items that prevent your fallen god from downgrading. So you need 50 of the deconstructed, 100. So 100 sharps and 50 of the silent decisions, 100 sharps and the 50 of the deconstructed preliminarials, or the longing of the primordial decisions. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to see if any of them are on the market right now when we can kind of see the value of them. So let's look up decision. No. Primordial crystal. Doesn't look like it. The longing of the ancient decision can be exchanged for the items below in the consolidated goods. So, the selling price of the crystals, 5 billion, 6.5 billion, 100 million, and 130. You can go up to 6 and 7.5 billion. And the sub-weapon, the King's Assisted Weapon, has been added. So this one is the long-awaited. I know I have my 2 pens. I'm not quite to 20,000 Caphras yet, but I got a feeling I'm going to be buying some today. Where to heat the items to obtain, so you need 100 sharps and 221 stones of Caphras to get the Jewel of Twilight. I'm wondering if the 222 stones is a bad translation, but we will figure this out. And then you need a Jewel of the Primate, 1,000 fragments to the beginning, and you use that to get the sub-weapon production materials. So here is, you need a pen and a Twilight. You need a pen, let's see, a pen, a Kudum at C20, and a Nuver at C20, or a pen, a Twilight, and a Primal. So I know I'm going to have to be going after this Twilight right here. I think that's I believe this is 20,000 Caphras and 100 shards. Yeah, see, making 20,000 stones and Caphras. Yep. So that's what I'm going to be going for. I know I'm at 11,000 Caphras right now, but Subweapon. If you interact with the Phoenix statue of Mount Assi in Huangdu, the country of the morning, land of the morning light, while you have all the materials for the making of the King's Sub, or the Sov Subweapon, you can make it in the order of creation. Pen Godai weapons cannot be used as materials for making the sub-weapons. To use as a production material, please use the decision of the Searing Sun item to exchange it for a weapon of Pen Blackstar. The Royal Auxiliary weapon can be enhanced using the Blackstones of the beginning. With the addition of the Royal sub-weapon, the Taze Hammer has been changed to allow the use of the King's auxiliary weapons to be used to strengthen the army's auxiliary weapons. So here it is at +0 all the way up to deck. I don't know what the 10 is. Probability is going, it's going to be a toughen. Most people aren't going to be probably above a dong very quickly. The number of essences in the crown stone and agris used to strengthen the monarch's auxiliary weapons is the same as the main weapons. So for the agris anvil. Edania, other items, new artifacts, the decision of the leader, the crystal of the inexhaustible leader, and the relics of the lead Kabua, the artifact of the guided Dekia. All damage reduction, the relics of the Lydian Dekia, all the evasion items can be obtained from the castles, which will be released September 10th. So these are going to be new best in slots artifacts. And where to get this, the determination of the innocent guide. And they are going to give, let's see, just compare these to the Kabuas. The Kabuas give extra AP, monster damage reduction, max HP, and max stamina. And these give, let's see, +3 additional attack, +5 damage to monsters, +5, +250 max health. Okay, so I'm wondering if when we compare them side by side, I don't know, AP, it must maybe give an addition. So instead of extra AP against monsters +7 with the Kabua, it might be +3 additional, or +5 more. It looks like, okay, it goes up to +10. Okay, yeah, so Kabua's is +7, +20, +100, and +75. And then the reforming it with these items, gets bumped up to +10 AP against monsters, +25 monster damage reduction, +350 HP, and +75 stamina. So there is quite a bit of difference. These are the different stages, I guess. Yep, so there's going to be 3 different stages. And, oh, these are the, oh, there's 3 different ones. I see. Okay. So from Kabua's, you can kind of grow it or enhance it into this. And then added Lightstone of Fire Distortion with additional attack effect against the Edania race. Yeah, race. Okay, good job. For the race, the Lightstone of Fire Distortion will give you +5 attack against all Edania NPCs or PVE monsters. Added 1 new Lightstone combination. So you need 3 of those with a iridescent, and you get +15 versus Edania mobs. Added amplified lightstone that can be obtained by processing existing lightstones. The lightstone of fire, earth, wind, and the material below can be heated together, and the amplified lightstone to the same name as the lightstones used as a material can be obtained as a result. The aura of crystallized apocalypse can be obtained from the Edania hunting ground and the Edania chief toppered content. So the amplified lightstone has a stronger effect than the existing lightstone. So, okay, it's going to double the effect of the Lightstone for the amplified light one. So this is going to help people just grind easier. I think they're wondering if the AP is too high. I think they're really concerned with Edania being gated for a lot of the players. Even when equipped with amplified lightstones, the lightstone combinations effect are activated, which is conditioned by the existing lightstone of the same name. So you'll still get the existing combination, it'll just give you extra buffs. For the fainter, the exchange ceremony of Lightstone of Fire Distortion and exposure of Lightstone can be exchanged for the Light of Horsepower. So quantity of crystals of Lightstone of Magic to acquire. So if you break them down. And then modification of, let's see, new modified group Edania has been added. As a result, 4 revisions of the Edania group were added. You can kill monsters in Edania area PVE spots and make the acquired materials with the simple pension. That's simple skills, just hitting your L menu. The maximum number of mounts in the modified group is 1. So they're increasing the crystal slots. And it gives you add to all to stats with Edania plus 15, reduce monster damage 30, 45, and 60. So that's going to be the awesome crystal right there. This can be obtained at a later date when updating Tenenbaum Castle and Zephyros Castle. So right now the best you can get is a added plus 45 attack to any Edania race and plus 15 monster damage reduction. So, correction of Kang Jin Ban Wan Unblemished Rune is not possible to register on the marketplace. 5 revisions of the Dawn of the River have been added. The modifications of the River Dawn have a strong mounting effect and a lower notation damage reduction than the Crystal of the Dawn of the Jinn. So, you go off all attack plus 7. The Black Spirit's Raged, that can be obtained alone plus 25%. Red Gravity is all attack 60, stamina 50. Notation attack might be special attack. I don't know what that damage reduction. Maybe that's damage reduction. The crystals at the Dawn of the River can be produced by heating the material below. The modification of the River Dawn is not possible to register on the marketplace. So you can make these for yourself, but that's it. Can't sell them. And here's those crystals. By heating the crystals of River Dawn, you can acquire the essence of the Dawn and the aura of crystallized apocalypse for each crystal. And this is the heating in your L menu. The evasion force of Jin Ban Wan Dawn Correction evasion has been increased. So evasion 48 down to evasion 27. Added modifications of breathing that can be applied to life content. The Rusalka corals, which are required to produce the integrity of recording, can be mined and acquired after killing the Rusalka Dolmen Gauge in the Edania region. So you can get these corals, and that's how you get the new life crystals. And then you use your simple crafting menu by hitting L, and you're going to get life experience plus 7, life proficiency plus 15. New elixirs to give you damage against the Edania race. New party elixirs to do the same. The elixir of Edania, the powerful elixir of Athenia, has been added to the pension ceremony. The upper elixir of the same name can be used for fabrication in a 3-to-1 ratio for your blues versus greens. How to make this is 2 Sinner's Blood, 4 Nature's Trails, 5 solid wood barks, 5 clear liquids, and 6 Caphras tree saps. So you need to be professional 1 or higher. You need to, let's see, Caphras saps can be obtained from the Caphras tree harvesting, sap collecting, or at a production base in the Edania region. The elixir of Edania, Mighty Edania, and Harmony Edania has been added. So this is how you make them with your blue liquid reagents or your essence of Illidabs. Edania's elixir was added to the ingredients for the manufacture of Duin's medicine box for the delivery of the Imperial family. So you can do your Imperial delivery. The nostalgia of the aspiration and the fragrance of the crown iron have been added. Aspiration, the fragrance of the crown of the season, is the top perfume item with stronger effect than the fragrance of the container of the deep sea. So all attack 25, max health plus 500. +5 attack speed, +5 casting speed, and +5 movement speed. Added aspiration, pension making ceremony to produce fragrances of the crowned iron. Rizalka coral. Acquired through mining after killing. And then the nostalgia of aspiration needs traces of nature. Red tree humps, 5 clear liquid reagents, 6 oils of degenerate, and Rizalka corals. It's interesting how they're kind of, even the life skillers are going to be tempted to go up there, and you're going to have to do PvE. But I'm really interested to see how the gear requirements are going to gate this. I mean, I know I've been hearing mixed results from my crew, whether or not people are going to get sweaty and get up there or not. But Integer of Caphras. It is an item that can be processed into the perfume of desire, and a perfume of the old container, and a perfume of the deep sea. Acquired by harvesting Caphras trees or harvesting sap. Aspiration, perfume, production of tube iron. So this, a lot of sap collecting up in Edania. So this is just the price of everything. These are going to be 30 million up to 150 or 300 million silver elixirs. Actually, the modification of breathing recordings is $1.5 billion. Lightstone of fire distortion is $5 billion. And the amplified lightstones can be as high as $6 billion. New furniture. So for those of you who have room in your manor, on a side note, I would love if the manor was actually like a huge mansion. I have all of my furniture crammed in like 2 rooms, and it just does not look right. So maybe one of these days they'll make the manor huge and actually like a mega mansion. But for now, furniture. For those of you who have room and like the decorations from Edania, they have many different choices. The furniture merchant is NPC Ergen. Life content, new base and production bases, blue crystal gemstones, green crystal gemstones, titanium ore, vanadium ore, and powder of time, powder of earth, woodwood. That's a bad translation, but there it is, woodwood. Now you could also get the Caphras tree sap and the Caphras tree logs from some of the nodes, rather than sapping yourself. And new fish species. Green grade, blue grade, yellow grade, red grade. There's 183 million and 144 million new red grade fish up there. With the addition of new fish species, the target fish species is weekly fishing competition has been added, so they've been added to the new fishing contest. And Edania's Harvest, new gatherings have been added to the collection of the new ones in Edania. Caphras tree, so Ensla's goat, Caphras serpent, and the Rizalka coral from the Dolmenges. It is an existing collection that be collected in the Edania region, so these are all things that you can get there. Additions and improvements with characters. In this adjustment, we have adjusted the PvE performance of the character, including the ability to put back at the clock, the convenience of operation, the concentration required to configure the combo, and the various parts necessary to increase the performance of the character in PvE. So Warrior, you're getting a little more damage buff on your main weapon, not in your succession. Tamer, in your awakening, slight buff. Guardian, in your main weapon, and in your succession and awakening as well. Drakania, a little bit of a bigger increase for with awakening. Awakening for the Musa. I don't know if that's Musa or not. Slight change. Scholar. with your succession, or pre-awakening, I should say, and your awakening. Dosa for your pre-awakening. Goku, which is the Wukong, I believe. You're seeing a good increase. And then other classes, the Berserker, small change. Kuno, small change. Dark Knight, small change. Items. As the damage is changed, to earn additional damage as a bonus according to the notation damage added from the 310th AP. Some changes have been made to the value of the Debaraka and Karazad earrings, as well as the Dawn of the Bar with block of erosion specialization and attack. With the new system, extra AP against monsters will now be added as a bonus when your displayed AP reaches 310 or higher. Because of this, the value of Distos, Vahas, Debos, and Karazad earrings, which were previously all about boosting AP, Hasur a bit. Okay, so it changed. So Pen, Dong V have gone up by 1. Karazads have gone up by 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1. The combat stats for items occupying the Pro Costume slot do not apply to Edania content. Monsters, or Zekia Elvia, the location of the monster's appearance, the secret room have been changed. Marnie's locked UI has been modified, or Zekia Elvia, you can take the position of the seal of Edania Marnia. However, when entering the dormitory of Zekia Elvia in Edania, a dedicated entry item is required. So to get into Edania, you need Blue Eve scrolls, scrolls of the NymphaMare Castle, and scrolls of Artiba, and Orzekia Elvia, the Void's Decision. Change to disable daggers that do not correspond to each difficulty in Ataraxia. Request knowledge. In progress, the amount of natural recovery of health has been increased by 100% compared to the previous one. However, the amount of recovery due to the aura of the moon during the process of the Black Shrines has not increased. If you haven't completed your request for Ataraxia and Wild Waves or is in progress, a dialogue button has been added to allow you to return to Sika's site through Solmagia in the Sika's Garden. The name of the story log has been changed to the Adventure Journal. The icon of the Adventure Journal has changed. If you click on it, you can select the country of the Morning of the Light and the Edania Adventure Journal to see in the logbook. Node Wars in Occupation. The life and defense of the castle and annex of the construction occupation stage has been adjusted. Stronghold Fortresses armor has been increased by about 11% compared to the existing. Annex, the defense of other annexes except for the Flag of the Fallout has been increased by about 15%. Flag health is up 33%, armor is up 11%. That is in Balanos and Serendia. Medalla and Valencia, defense is up about 8.7%. Annex is up about 11, and Flag is up about 10. Calpheon and Camasilvia, 8, 10, and 9. Medalla and Valencia, 8, 11, and 9. And Calpheon and Camasilvia, same thing, 7, 10, and 8. UI, and an event integration UI, so you can view events in a pop-up window. So it can be found in the menu under the reward section. System, with the addition of the Edania region, it has been changed to allow wayfinding in some adjacent Ross waters. Okay, not sure what that means, but when the request for the King of Medalla was commissioned, the conversation with Queen Sharur was corrected. Even though it is not a desert area, the phenomenon that Krogdala looked like after using certain skills, such as front footing and rear footing, has been corrected. Fixed an effect that caused the wing to disappear during sudden stop during instant acceleration use. And that's about it. Okay, that was a very big Global Labs update. Welcome to Edania for Global Labs. I know a lot of us are very much looking forward to it. I kind of want to see how the PvP content goes. So, until next time, thanks for being patient. Thanks for subscribing, liking. Thank you for sending me comments. And as always, let me know what you want to know about, even if it's not Black Desert. Have a great day, and we'll see you next video.